Hi, I'm Nic Hard. I'm a producer, mixer, engineer from New York. I'm here in my home studio with my new multi-channel setup, which we're going to talk about today. I'm sure most of you have heard about multi-channel or immersive audio. In this video, I'd like to talk about my concept of it and how it relates to mixing albums. To start with, there are several different platforms for this, but at the moment, Dolby Atmos is kind of leading the pack, so I'm probably going to focus mostly on that. The basic concept is sort of what it sounds like, is to create an immersive experience for the listener. And this is something that the mix engineers have been trying to do for decades with just stereo. And now with surround sound and Dolby Atmos, we can kind of create these results of really taking the listener to a different place. In my studio, I decided to install a 7.1.4 system, which is sort of the basic system that Dolby recommends for music mixing. The 7.1.4 means that there are 7 speakers at ear level, left, right, center, left and right surrounds, and left and right rear surrounds. The 0.1 is the subwoofer, and then the 0.4 are the overheads, front and back, left and right. Some of the important factors in setting up an Atmos room is speaker placement, speaker calibration, and acoustic treatment. I've done a little bit of acoustic treatment here, and I've tried to follow the Dolby recommendations for speaker placement as close as I could. It's a little bit of an odd-shaped room, so I had to kind of push things around a little bit. To calibrate my room, I used SoundID reference. Not only does SoundID reference compensate for frequency issues in my room, but it also calculates the delay times and the gain differences between the speakers. One of the great things about Dolby Atmos that sets it apart from earlier versions with surround sound like 5.1 or quad is its ability to tell what kind of system you have, and it'll adjust the playback of the file to suit that system. So this means that you can play it back on a 5.1 system or a 9.1.6 system, and it'll have the same balances and the same spatial sensation as it did on the original system. Atmos is also able to recreate the mix on headphones and soundbars. For me, this is huge, and I think the future of Atmos depends upon its ability to do this well. Most people in their houses are not going to have 7.1.4 systems, and they're going to be wanting to listen to these mixes on headphones or on the soundbar under their TV. The way that Atmos is able to recreate the spatial sensation in stereo headphones is a little bit above my pay grade, but basically it emulates the way your brain interprets and localizes sound. For example, if you hear somebody clapping behind you or a dog barking, you can tell that it's coming from behind you. This has to do with the shape of your earlobe and the shape of your head and the way that frequencies interact with it. So now that we've talked about what Atmos is and what immersive audio is, we can talk about what it means, at least to me, to mix an album in Atmos. Most of the time, the Atmos mix is started after the stereo mix has been completed. And the job of the Atmos mixer is to take the stereo mix and expand it and make an immersive experience out of it, while still maintaining the same vibe and the same feeling as the original. For me, a lot of the process of creating an Atmos mix is to take the elements of the stereo mix and place them at various points around the listener, thus creating an immersive experience. For example, if you had a piano that was recorded with 4 mics, I might take 2 of the mics and pan them to the front and 2 of the mics and pan them to the rear, thus sort of like encircling the listener. Now, there aren't always 4 mics on a piano, so if you had a stereo piano, you could pan the close mics to the front, left and right, and then send a little bit to a reverb and put them in the rear. This sort of creates the effect of sitting in a room listening to a piano in front of you. To me, this is really where the art of the immersive mix lies, in creating an immersive experience for the listener and giving them a new way to experience music. So for me, I'm really enjoying mixing in Atmos, and I think there's a lot of creative possibilities, and I'm having a great time with it. I would definitely recommend anybody who's interested in it to check it out and get into it themselves.